People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good evening, good morning to you, and I hope you're all doing well. As you can see, I've got my tactics board in front of me. Now, I had no intentions of making this video, but one thing for me, people, I'm going to speak about a couple of things in general over the next few weeks or months or whatever for pre-season, but I think a lot of our problems stem from midfield. Now, football is a well-drilled organ. Defence, midfield and attack all need to be together on one page. It all flows. Attack is defence and defence is attack. The same thing. Obviously, you will look first and foremost at defenders, but you need to look at before a team breaches into the defensive wall or is able to have a go at your defensive wall, what happens with the first two lines being midfield and strikers, depending on if you got one striker, three strikers, whatever. You get the point. 5 midfielders, a pivot, 3 midfielders, whatever. But I don't feel our midfield is dynamic enough. Now, in an ideal world, this is what I would like to see. You can see arrows. I believe we need dynamic midfielders. I've used the same formation more or less where we lost to Chelsea. I feel we get overrun in midfield. I feel Torreira is pretty dynamic and is able to get up and down, but probably saw second half of the season he began to get tired. It's been a big arc for him playing all of these games, and it is unhealthy the amount that we rely on him. That's why you need other midfielders on the same page. Xhaka has no mobility really and truly. He's not really the most agile and things like that. He does put himself around, but more often than not, it does cost us. I think dynamism. Being a bit more energetic in midfield, being a bit more, tigerish is where a lot of our problems happen, because we've actually done well against Chelsea's midfield before. Well, like you saw, well, not yesterday, when we played them in the final, we're overran. And for me, we need people on Torreira. It's not Torreira's wavelength, the sort of energy that he brings at a time, man. Guendouzi's got energy in him, and we'll just use Guendouzi and Maitland-Niles to be fair with you. Guendouzi, Maitland-Niles and Torreira. When Xhaka's there, Xhaka's possibly more situated here. You probably have Guendouzi there, and you probably have Torreira there, so you can see the shape. I will speak about that later, but this is why I want this first and foremost, people. I believe if we're more dynamic, how many times, people, out wide, this is the attacking full wingers or forwards or whatever you want to call them, yeah? How many times have you seen, okay, 1v1, he beats him or he beats him, but there's no one to support, people? Now, let's assume these are the wing-backs in this position. If he beats him, what happens? That's why these arrows are here, because I feel our midfield can get out there quick enough, don't get out there quick enough to support. That's a very underrated aspect of being in midfield, helping out the wide men and trying to shut down blocks and double up. Obviously, my man here, I would like him to engage more as well. I would like us to be able to step up the field more, and I would like to see us more play with a flat midfield three, because if we have a dynamic midfield three, our fullbacks are like that, our defence will obviously get high, and our strikers need no introduction to try and score goals. This is how we can dominate teams to a degree. I also feel if we put everybody back slightly, one thing that it does annoy me, and you see it, he's technically a striker. These are the wingers. So let's remove him for a sec, people, yeah? In fact, let's keep him. Two strikers, midfielders. Let's remove this. And to make it a bit more visually pleasing, let's make this guy yellow to highlight the point. Now, people, for me, one problem Arsenal have now, is midfield runners. Like I said, these are strike men. How many times... I don't know how many times you see someone die on a football pitch like that, but how many times have you seen my man will start his run from here and will end up with a shot on target? Now, the defence, at more time than not, people are not looking over their shoulders and assessing these situations, and my man's not thinking, let me cover him. But before it gets to there, people, what did you see? He started a deep run. He started his run from here. How many times? Because I can give you examples. Lingard. Anytime Lingard has faced us this season, at home and away, the FA Cup and at Old Trafford in the league. Milner. There's been several incidences, people. Midfield runners. Our midfielders have to pick up opposition runners. When my man's decided to run, I want to see someone switch on and be dynamic. Now, I'm going to highlight Xhaka. Now, Xhaka, sometimes you can see it. Xhaka just doesn't have the mobility, so it's like it's playing catch up. It's like a police officer chasing a hoodlum, and that, people, really and truly, he just hasn't got the stamina to be able to do it, and it's slightly different. But even at times, people, if we make him here go here, how many times have you seen an opposition midfielder on the edge of our area? People are not looking over their shoulders, and this person will creep in and have an effort on our goal. Do you see what I'm saying, people? So a lot of it starts with midfield for me. A lot of it, people. A lot of it starts it with midfield. It really does. And another thing that kind of irks me as well, people, is that I don't feel necessarily we destroying opposition enough. And what I mean by that is, this is why I've purposely made this back four close together, people, innit? If the ball comes out from the keeper into the centre half, we do press, of course. Lacazette, Aubameyang, and the whole team presses, of course we press. And we might discourage them from time to time. But sometimes we don't always. And my man might pass it to his centre half. He passes it to his fullback. Now, again, we do press, and it's not just the strikers, but often they're not. Other teams, City are the best example. Their striker will commit a foul or burst the gut to get over there purely to disjoint the opposition's team play. I feel at times we don't do that because you can see goals developing in our play. Go and look through the several examples. I've actually seen Aubameyang and Lacazette lose balls in their own half, and it's cost us. And it wasn't them against Brighton away from home, but the same thing happened. And this is not me point scoring or picking out players. My point is, defend the way we can. If we can see the ball up one side of the field, we shouldn't be able to be as cut open to the degree we are. So using them as a highlight, the ball might come out. You know what? Let's skip the centre half. Ball might come out here. Yeah, he's got space and he might be a bit tired, so he doesn't press him. But that allows him to get it into him, and then we're not normally aware to this and recovering. Then he might get the ball and have a bit of quality about him, and the striker might go and drop for it, and it hits this striker, and this guy might be on his bike already, people. And again, remember what I told you about following runners, midfielders, unaware of runners. You're going to see my man creep in front of goal. Ball comes in as an effort. Do you see it, people? 3-4 passes. How many times have you seen us cut open with 3-4 passes? So I need us to be able to stop the opposition quicker and better. If I quickly just remove everybody. Try and make a point a bit better. Well, we need to keep the reds. What am I doing, man? I'm even silly, people. Sorry, let me wipe the thing properly. It's early in the morning. Now, more often than not, you see gaps. I don't really have to take Leno out there, but let me clear this feeling. Alright, cool. Alright, there we go, people. We've got a clear one now. Yeah? Let's do 4-3-3, man. I've had enough of looking at 3 at the back. So let's go with 4 players. Go with what we see initially. Go with, you know, Xhaka can play at the base because that's realistic. And then you got our front men. Yeah. Now, in reality, this is not the shape you typically see, people, with Arsenal, is it? This isn't the shape. This is not the shape. This might be how we start the match, but this is what you typically see. Lacazette, Aubameyang, we might have a playmaker there. Our fullback's gone. Other fullback's gone. One, Xhaka might be... Guendouzi might be up here. Torreira might be there. Xhaka's there, or you might see something like that where it's like 3 at 6s and 7s. Let's make it a bit closer. Obviously, our back line have to get up and support the attack, so they're more likely to be a high line. To be fair, give or take, depending on who plays, you could say Maitland-Niles is up there as well. But you can see disjointedness, people. Of course, teams get disjointed. It is football, people. But this is more often than not, you can see the gaps in our team. You can see the gaps. Midfielders, and again, this is just me scribbling, but midfielders have to be on the same page, more people. Midfielders have to be on the same page a bit more, and teams are able to capitalize on and I'll only do two centre halves and a fullback. Let me say a fullback and a winger. Teams are able to take advantage of this, people. Why? Because immediately you can see centre half, keepers and centre halves, if they've got ability, you get it out here. If you're able to get it into your star man, you have an effort. It's 1v1 with a high line. How many times have you seen it? And it's about being a bit more proactive, people, as well in several incidences. Because I do think we have proactive thinkers. Clearly, these are a lot of professional footballers. But I don't feel they make street smart decisions. And what I specifically mean by that is it's kind of tying into what we've said. But you can make any example about it, people. Let me use the back four first and foremost as an example. Plays over here, man in possession's here, right, people, yeah? And what do you always hear? You have to shuffle across. Let's just say my man, there's two options. There's two options here. My man's irrelevant to this. He's gone to engage. So naturally, we're shuffling across. Let's just say let's just say this centre half is completely unaware. Let's just say he's ball watching this centre half. He is completely unaware of my man, yeah? Because this is what happens 9 times out of 10, people should be proactive. Let's say Maitland-Niles and think, okay, cool, let me tuck in very quickly so that I've got him. Let me call back my winger, I don't know, Mkhitaryan, come back, so then we're all in a line sort of thing, people. That's for the defence. I feel at times as well we'll just use 2 centre halves. Guys press alone. It will either be Lacazette and Aubameyang pressing alone. We can't just press alone, people. We can't just press alone. 2-man or 3-man can't press. Because why, people? If 2-3 man by themselves try and press, there's not enough. They'll get picked apart, people. Think about it. If Lacazette and Aubameyang go and cut out the centre halves, people, and this midfielder's got a bit of ability about him, the keeper can play it into him, and he can play it into the fullback, or the keeper can bang it into the fullback, and they're gone. Do you see it? So I feel we need to press consistently. And my pet peeve as well, again, is midfield runners. Because more time, play starts in the opposition's box, and my man will continue his run. And one of these midfielders, what happened there? One of these midfielders should have the common sense to realise, okay, my man's making a run here, let me go back with him. He's running, he's onside, let me go back with him. More often than not, that doesn't happen, and you'll see midfielders caught high up the field, and you might catch Xhaka here. Foot race is a myth, people. Do you see what I'm saying? So there's certain things we need to do. I'd like to see us be able to defend outnumbered when we're under the cosh, especially away games where we're not really having much of an effort, the opposition's on top of us and things like that. We've got a long way to go, man. It's still very early in pre-season, but pre-season isn't that long, so we'll see come August if we have worked on these sort of things. But for now, people, I'm out. Deluded.